So before I start reading my presentation, I just want everyone to know that who knows me in this room, that this is a vulnerable piece for me. It is not the story that you guys have heard before about my accomplishments, organizations I'm part of, and my job. This is the journey of Amber to getting to Esquire, and why journeying to Esquire has been beneficial in my life and why it's important to me. I was 4 years old when I decided that I was going to become an attorney. I didn't have any mentors or anyone in my immediate family that had ever been to law school, had ever practiced law, or had aspirations to practice law. I only had one person that I looked up to and competed with, and that was my sister Tony. Tony is the kind of person who always knew where she was going and what it took to get there. I'm the youngest of 5, so Tony and me are 15 months apart. She was the first to do everything, and I watched closely. The organization and determination she had to get things done at such a very young age was something I truly admired and was determined to cultivate. She would stay up late studying, like she just knew there was something more to life than just living, eating, and working at a job you hated. Tony worked hard in school to earn scholarships, to build a brighter future. I was in 4th grade when I received my first scholarship, just like Tony. Neither of us knew it then, but my mother saw something in her girls and quietly applied on our behalf. At that time, college felt out of reach. We hadn't dared dreamed about. But even then, I knew one thing for sure. I was going to be an attorney, just like Maxine Shaw, and I was going to be great. My 4th grade teacher, Ms. Schuler, told me that her husband was a lawyer and that it would be hard for me. Since I was a C average student and nothing more, the discouragement I felt, she said it required a lot of reading. As a 4th grader with a below reading comprehension level, I felt my dreams slipping away. But Ms. Schuler's words ignited a fire in me I didn't know I had. She made me compete with myself, the old version of myself. I wanted to prove to her and myself that I was not a C average student. Hindsight. And it's okay to be a C average student in law school because C's get degrees and sometimes become judges, okay? Fast forward to middle school. That C average student became a B average student. In high school, I continued to grow academically and remained committed to my dream of attending law school. But the rules had changed. I began my college journey. If you attended a 4-year university, you were required to live on campus your first year. My mother, a sweet, soft-spoken, God-fearing woman, looked me square in the face and said, "We can't afford the dorm. So you can either go to St. Petersburg Junior College or figure out how to pay for the dorm yourself." I was freshly out of high school with one scholarship that would cover tuition and books and nothing more. So I opted for SBC. Upon picking my major at SBC, my father told me that law school would be hard and he didn't want me to struggle. He told me to pick another career like an ultrasound nurse. They make a lot of money and it's stress-free. I heard him, and again I felt discouraged because it was as if he didn't believe in me, but I kept going. I studied pre-law for 2 years and received my AS degree. Then I transferred USF to receive my BS in criminology. I was elated because once you graduate with your BS, all the jobs start rolling in. Just kidding. Throughout my college career, I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, to ensure my car payment, insurance, and rent was paid when I attended USF. Once I graduated, it was hard for someone who looked like me to get a job at any law firm. I was discouraged. I was working at Ultimate Medical Academy, which is in Tampa, they got one in St. Petersburg, as a career service advisor. Using those tools that I learned as a career service advisor and having secured a paralegal certificate under my belt, I was sure I was going to get my dream job as a paralegal. And to my surprise, I did. The year is 2017, and I graduated from undergrad in 2013, and I received my paralegal certificate in 2015. So why haven't I started law school? Because the discouraged young girl had grown into the discouraged young lady who didn't think she was smart enough or financially able to attend law school. Until one day I witnessed a friend walk across the stage at San Diego, California to receive her JD. I was so proud of her. At that moment, she reminded me of the dream we had in undergrad of becoming law partners. She told me, regardless of my LSAT score, to apply. That was the push I needed. I knew I had to put my foot on the gas. I studied. Now I know it's practice, but at that time, I studied for the LSAT. My score wasn't as well as I hoped it would be, but it was enough to get into a law school. I prayed to God that no matter what it takes, I will study hard, dedicate myself fully, and remove anything or anyone distracting me. And well, God answered my prayers. And in 2020, I was accepted into Cooley Law School. I delayed my start until 2021. I didn't know about financial aid. I didn't know that the financial aid would be provided for graduate students. One of the professors didn't tell us that at the time. So I worked 2 jobs and saved up money before attending law school. And to my surprise, the financial aid that I received paid for all of my tuition for law school. For my first 2 semesters, they were rough. I cried every single day. Until one day in Contracts 2, Professor DeBose's class, when I got a 4 out of 20 on a midterm. That was my turning point. I told myself, this will be my last time crying. I told myself God didn't bring me this far just to bring me this far, that I was gonna make it. And I did. I ended that class with a B-, and I never stopped grinding after that. Now, one of the things that Journey to Esquire has taught me, and one of the highlight modules that I love truly, is mentors. Mentors are crucial at any stage of your life. Throughout life, I've had many mentors unknowingly, like Eartha Kent, Naomi Campbell, Mary Jane, Gabrielle Union, Kelly Rowland, Brandy, Claire Huxtable, and even Maxine Shaw. To me, all these ladies represented poise, grace, style, resilience, no nonsense, intelligent creativity, and class. It wasn't until law school that I saw these qualities embodied in a real life mentor, Jocelyn Hardrick. She taught me to never shrink in rooms where I belonged. Every term, little by little, the young woman that lacked confidence was emerging into a woman that exuded confidence, poise, intelligence, and no nonsense. She showed me that an idea becomes a plan once you act on it. She pushed me out of my comfort zone in many ways that I care to share, and for that, I'm forever grateful. A mentor is someone who sees your potential, gives you the tools to soar. Mentors become your therapist, your cheerleader, your spiritual auntie, your friend, sounding board, and a safe place. I'm so grateful for Journey to Esquire for the mentorship and the invaluable tools they provided, like the professionalism, teaching you how to dress, speak, and how to make sure your resume speaks not only to you, but gives you your flowers and shows people who you truly are by just giving them a piece of paper. The writing lab, yes, we know about them commas. And the double spacing that I did not even think it does look better, I'm gonna just say that. The mindfulness modules, meditation is something, like Nairobi said, we all struggled with anxiety throughout law school. Me, my 3rd term, which is now 3L, I struggled so much with the anxiety and crashing out and burning out because I worked full-time and did part-time law school and was taking 13 credit hours the term before this. And I didn't know how I was gonna make it. But looking at that module, and then by the grace of God, I made it. I'm here today, so. The metacognition and judicial clerkship. Metacognition showed me different learning styles, that I'm a visual learner, but I also like to write things down as well. So I'm utilizing those tools. This spring, I had the privilege of interning at the Hillsborough County Public Defender's Office, where I gained hands-on experience that affirmed my calling. I worked in the jails gathering bond factors from indigent clients to help them qualify for public defenders and also to get reduced bond. I observed countless court proceedings, learning to assess which cases were worth taking to trial and which ones would be resolved over plea deals. Now, as a young girl, I used to shy away from the criminal law system because I heard people say it was cliche for a woman of color to defend the accused. And for a while, I believed them, enough to make me question my own path. But if law school and Journey to Esquire has taught me one thing, it is that when you have a talent, a gift, when something comes natural, you honor it, you sharpen it, and you own it. Because what comes easily to you may not come easily to others. When it flows like water, you know it's yours. So after I take the Florida bar, I plan on working as a criminal defense attorney. I want to ensure that people's constitutional rights are upheld and that every person gets the best representation that they deserve. Eventually, I want to practice civil rights law. And in closing, Journey's mentors have encouraged me and inspired me to pay it forward. I want to help another young man or woman who thinks that law school is out of reach realize their potential, help them shape their own ideas, encourage them to act, because anything and everything can happen to a dreamer who leaps. Thank you.